iPhone 11 or 11 Pro? Or Note 10 Plus? Wolf, which one will be my next phone? So this comes with Windows 10 Home. What the? Like, come on, let's get rid of that Windows Home. Let's get some Windows Pro. Copy and paste my code from the description. You can also get Office 2019. Just paste my code. Woof, it's Windows Pro time. Righto, tell you there, champs, and indeed, I have been choosing out of these two phones which one's going to be my next phone. Long story short, I sold my phone before the Apple event. I was 100% going to get a new iPhone. And Apple released, the press release by innovation only, and I got excited and it was like no innovation whatsoever. And I said I was not going to order a new iPhone. Reality is, I've sold my phone, I've got to buy a new phone. So this is the time where I consider something else. So I come up with the Note 10, which I think is the best Android phone at this very moment. And I bought the iPhones too, to compare them and see which one I'm going to buy. So I've been testing the hell out of these two. I have no loyalties to either brand. I don't care, iOS, Android. I have a Mac and PC here. I love both. I don't care. I don't see the point of blindly following one brand over another. It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, I do understand when you buy a product from one particular brand and you buy it because it just works and they've always been reliable for you. Yeah, but it's time for me to compare these two, find out which one I think is the best for me, which one I'm going to choose. And this is what I found out. So let's find out which one I keep and which one I think is best in each area. When it comes to price, all right, the iPhone costs more, but it holds its value as well. So, the Samsung 1-2 years, the value plummets. With the Apple products, you pay more, but you get more back. So I honestly don't think there's that much difference in the price. When it comes to specs, the Note 10 is a friggin' beast when it comes to specs, 12 gigs RAM. Why are we having 12 gigs RAM in a phone? Can't you make these phones more efficient? Lighting up 12 gigs of RAM is going to waste battery. But anyway, it is a specs beast, the Note. But it really doesn't matter when you're comparing it to the Apple because the iPhones have never been about specs and for what it's worth, nothing touches the Apple when it comes to silicon, alright? It's got the best silicon you can get in a smartphone. So I don't think looking on a spec sheet for both really matters. Build quality, they both have superb build quality. When you look at that Note, you see that gorgeous big rectangle screen. It's all screen on the top, like minimal bezel. I will say, turning the phone over and looking at the finish at the back, the black is, pretty boring to me. It's a fingerprint magnet. You can get that beautiful rainbow colored Aura Glow, which looks awesome from a certain angle, but that's a fingerprint magnet too, even worse than the black. And 99% of the time, if you're not looking at it at the right angle, it is just basically a mirror. Now the iPhone at the front, I do prefer the Note how it's square and it's just all screen. You got a bit of bezel with the iPhone, you have the notch too, and you can see the rounded corners on the iPhone display, which is an engineering feat. No one can do this like Apple. But do you ever watch video with rounded corners? But when you turn it around, you may laugh at the camera module, but Apple have done their best to embrace it. And if you just look at the module by itself, it's an engineering piece of art. It really has a high quality finish. And that British racing green or midnight green you have on the back, that textured matte back, looks friggin' stunning. Both of them are high quality, but Apple do the best fit and finish. When it comes to the craftsmanship, the Apple is like the benchmark in that, but both of them are stunning and both of them are built to the highest quality. So when it comes to Android versus iOS, you'll have your own preference. With the Note, you get multitasking side-by-side apps, floating windows. But then with iOS, you get more polished apps, and that's a real thing. And it wasn't too long ago that actually Google apps were better on iOS than they were on Android. So whatever's your preference is your preference. Alright, so when it comes to logging in, they've both got imperfect systems. The fingerprint reader on the Samsung is not very good. I've registered 2 fingerprints and it was hit or miss every now and then. Face ID works most of the time, will annoy you when you're outside with sunglasses. Even if you turn off attention aware, you will have to punch in your code every now and then. It is fast. You can work from greater angles now. There's not a great difference from the old Face ID and the 10XS Max, so improvements are still needed. But if anything, I prefer Face ID because you just pick up your phone and it logs in. You don't have to fiddle about with a fingerprint reader. Now, when we're talking about the Pro Max and the Note 10 Plus, they are big phones. So yeah, they are cumbersome. Yeah, the iPhone is very heavy, but I'm not going to complain because it has a bigger battery in it. But the Note with its all display front and feels very thin. It doesn't feel as chunky as the iPhone, but the iPhone feels really expensive when you have that in your hand. It feels expensive. Now, one thing I do like about the Note is it has a USB-C. The iPhone is still using Lightning. It's like USB 2.0 speeds. I mean, Apple, come on. If you're going to have something pro, give me my USB-C. I mean, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, I mean, AirDrop works really well. But yeah, the Samsung USB-C, like you can even plug Ethernet and like a USB SSD. When it comes to sound, both of them have really good sound. I was really surprised with the Note sound. I wasn't expecting it to be great. They've really stepped up their game in terms of sound, and yeah, listening to sound on the iPhone is just absolutely amazing, especially Dolby Atmos. It's like a great immersive feeling. So both of them have great sound. You're not going to complain. Now, for the feel of using both of them, I enabled the gestures on the Note, but they're not very good on the Note. I'd say Android in general, gestures don't work that well as compared to the iPhone. You really have to use the 3-button setup with the Note. Hopefully they can implement Google's gestures. Just for me, using the phone, the iPhone feels better. It's just more fluid with the gestures. I mean, this was the complete opposite when the iPhone had the button and Touch ID and you had to use the button. You know, the iPhone was really clunky then, but now with the gestures, it's just flick, flick, flick. It's just really good. So I do prefer that on the iPhone. And it feels a bit more connected. When it comes to displays, oh my God, they are friggin' amazing, both of these displays. And a lot of people, oh, it's not 120 or 90 hertz. I don't care. First of all, the high refresh displays kill the battery life, and these both have great battery life, and I wouldn't want to kill it just for 90 hertz. I know it makes the interface, you know, a bit more slicker and that. Also, none of those high refresh displays are as good as quality as these two displays. They're basically the same display, same technology. It's just they're tuned different, right? And Apple do their own sort of things with the display. It's really going to come down to personal preference. I do like that basically the whole Note is just display. You know, the iPhone's got the rounded corners. It just, yeah, it's not as good as the Note in that way, but I do like the color of the iPhone better. It's more realistic. A lot of people will like the Note better because it's more contrasty, more saturated. That's just how they've tuned it. But for me, in terms of just the way the colors look and stuff and the contrast, I do like the iPhone better, but I do like the Note better because it's just all display. Either way, you're going to win with any of these displays. Would be nice if you could get a high refresh of both of these and have the same quality and not kill the battery, then I'm all in. But as far as it stands now, I'll take these displays over any of the high refresh ones at this very moment. Now, when it comes to battery life, woof. Both of them have amazing battery life. But the iPhone Pro Max, I mean, it is insane, the battery life on that. I'll just give you an idea. If I was to have, say, 6 hours screen on time, you know, YouTube, bit of camera, just your basic sort of email, web surfing, that sort of stuff, you know, a few minutes here and there, casual gaming. If I had 6 hours screen on time with the Note over the period of a normal day from morning to up to bedtime, I'll be around 20% battery. With the Note, maybe 30, just depends on what you're really doing, but it would be in the lower third of the battery. With that same sort of usage on the iPhone, I won't even get below 50%. It'll be around 60%. So although they're both going to get you through the day, they both have great battery life. The clear winner here is the iPhone 11 Pro Max, like amazing battery life. Now for cameras, I've taken over 1,000 photos and videos with both of these phones, and I'm not going to put, you know, side-by-side comparison or picking out just one out of 1,000 photos and going, oh, this is this and this is that. Overall, my experience with both of them with the cameras. I will put you onto Ash's channel. He's done a great comparison in between these two. Check out Ash from Futudio. I'll leave a link in the description. But to summarize, when it comes to video, the iPhone is the king. Both front and back cameras. The iPhone has been the king for a while now when it comes to video. I think its lead has just increased. You know, it's the MC Hammer when it comes to video. You can't touch this. That being said, the Note's video is good. You're going to be happy with it. I mean, the videos look different. When it comes down to focusing, color, and the way the video exposes, the iPhone's better. The Note will tend to sort of overexpose a bit, bring out the shadows a bit too much. I mean, if you like that thing, that's maybe you like the Note better. For me, overall, the video is just better on the iPhone. But when it comes to still images, it's a different story. It's really going to come down to personal preference. I think the iPhone is more natural. I think a lot of people would pick the Note photos because they're sharper, they're more contrasty, and they got more pop a lot of the times, and they bring out the shadows a bit more. This is all down to tuning. That's the way Samsung have chose to make their photos. I think if you want more natural photos with more dynamic range and just more consistent photos, I think the iPhone is the way to go. So overall, I'm going to give the win here to the iPhone, better video, and for me personally, more natural photos and more consistent and better photo quality. And when it comes to night, both of them are doing a good job here. I'll put up the Huawei P30, which is like, pretty old these days, and that's just a snap straight out of the camera. That's not a night mode. That's how good that RYYB sensor is on those Huawei phones. It is amazing. And look how dark it is outside. This is how dark it is. And actually the Huawei can actually see in the dark with its video as well. But yeah, if you look here close, I think the iPhone photo is a little bit yellow, like how it was in real life, whereas the Note's a bit bluer. But they both have great night mode now. All of them have 3 cameras, ultra wide, wide, and telephotos. The camera system on both of them are amazing. You probably need more than the difference between these two in cameras to decide which one's better. It's not going to be, oh, this one's miles better, you just get that one. It's not like that. Now, if you have a look outside, you can see the iPhone 11, iPhone 11 Pro Max, and Note 10 Plus outside. In daylight, you can see here, maybe the iPhone looks a little bit better outside in the bright light. Very close. Now, one thing I will say is Android just drains the battery. I don't know if it's the Exynos processor in there or whatever. Like 6% overnight battery, whereas the iPhone was still 100% overnight. So when it comes to performance of the two, you're not going to notice anything from day-to-day sort of use. Yes, the iPhone has the best silicon on the market. So yeah, comparing an Exynos to this or even the Snapdragon to the iPhone silicon, it's really no contest. That being said, are you going to use all this? I don't notice any difference using both of them. Everything works pretty much the same sort of speed, the camera, everything. I will say the benefits of the iPhone silicon is you're getting 4K 60 extended dynamic range with the iPhone video, and it's super smooth and no other camera can do that. So that's the silicon doing that, right? They can do 4K 60, but not with the extended dynamic range and the smoothness you get with the iPhone. That's just the silicon calculating, that's just the power of that silicon in the Apple. But both of them are super fast. 12 gigs RAM on the Note. That's friggin' insane, isn't it? And you also have the S Pen with the Note, and so that's an added feature. Overall, which one did I choose? Which one did I go for? So I gotta say, I picked the iPhone 11 Pro Max, but when I use it and then I go back to the Note, I sort of miss the Note. I love that display, love the feeling of it. I could go with either or. And I do have an XPS 15, I do have a MacBook Pro. It's just stupid. I've really got to just choose one. And that's where it's got to come with these phones. I could rock both of these, but I'm thinking, why have I got two? There's no point having two. I'm just going to stick with the iPhone for these reasons. The battery life. I don't care about fast charging and stuff like that. A lot of people don't mention that. A lot of the apps are better on iPhone. That's just how it is. If you're into TikTok, Instagram stories, the iPhone just works better because those people that make those applications, they're not going to go to Samsung and go, oh, we'll tune it especially for your camera. They tune it properly for the iPhone cameras, but they just do the generic stuff with the Android. There's so many different devices. So if you're into all that sort of social media stuff, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok and stuff like that, your content is just going to look better if you have the iPhone. And I think that's about it. I think it's the video camera and the battery life that really made me choose one over the other. I could have easily went with the Note and I would have been happy. Either way, you're going to have a great phone. Let me know what you think. What phone are you looking forward to? What phone would you like to have over any other phone? Tell me down there in the comments. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Tally ho.